This is a handwriting warm-up video. We're going to practice and make perfect one letter today. Make sure you have something to write on, like a piece of paper, a scrapbook, or maybe a mini whiteboard, and something to write with, like a pen, a pencil, a crayon. Pause the video and go and find those things now. Now that you've got your things ready, you can make sure your hands are ready. Put your pointer fingers up like this and bend them and straighten them a couple of times. Now link them together and push them away from you. Stretch your fingers a little bit. See if you can make a wave like this too. Oh, and the other way. All right, I think we're ready now. Today when we're doing our handwriting, we want to write with our page landscape. So not this way, not portrait, because we'll run out of space really quickly. We want to do it landscape, and then we'll have lots of space to write across the page. The first thing we need to do is draw the margin down the left-hand side. So that's kind of like the tree trunk. Like that. Then we're going to draw 3 lines or 3 branches coming from our tree trunk. So the way I get them to all be kind of equally spaced is I start with the one in the middle. So if you do the one through the middle first, then you look at these 2 spaces and you try and go in the middle again. So the middle of that space and the middle of that space. Then up in the corner, the top right hand corner, I'd like you to draw a little sun. It doesn't have to be big, but it just helps us to know which way our letters are facing. Last thing we need to do to set up our page is to draw our butterfly eggs. We draw our butterfly eggs right by the margin or the tree trunk, sitting on the branches, because this is where the butterfly, in case of the caterpillar, the story, thinks that the eggs are going to be safest and not fall out of the tree. Pause the video so you have time to set up your page like this. I'm going to show you some pictures and listen carefully to the first sound to see if you can work out which letter we're going to practice today. Frog, fan, feet, fish, farm, fire, flamingo. What sound do you hear at the beginning of all of those words? If you thought it was the sound F for the letter F, then you are correct. Here is our capital F and our lowercase f. They look kind of similar. Capital F has a lot more straight lines, and lowercase f has a curve on the top. Lowercase f is the letter we're going to be practicing handwriting today with, because that's the one we use most often when we're doing writing. Capital F only goes at the beginning of sentences or at the start of people's names, so we have to have a really good reason to use it. The letter F has 2 shapes in it, and the first shape that we need to practice is the feeler shape. Feeler, that also starts with an F. So we start right by the butterfly egg, because all writing starts by the margin and heads towards the sun. And we start near the top, not right at the top, because this shape kind of curves up a little bit before it comes down in a tall stick, like that. And remember, it's curving towards the sun. So it's a feeler. 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 In the story, this is the feeler on the top of the butterfly. Feeler. They're sometimes called antennae. On the next line, we need to practice our twig. Now, a twig is a small line that goes across, and the other letters that have a twig are the letter T and the beginning of the letter E. So it's like this. Twig, 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 twig. It doesn't have to be big. Twig, twig. On the next line, we're going to join those 2 together. So we're going to go feeler, then you move your pencil or pen or whiteboard marker back up, you've taken it off, then you do your twig. So it's 2 movements. Lots of our letters you do in 1 movement and you don't pick your pen up off the page. This one, it's definitely 2. Feeler, twig, Don't let your feeler go below the line. Feeler, twig. Feeler, twig. Have a check of your finger spaces. Make sure they're not too big and not too small. Feeler, twig. Feeler, twig. Feeler, twig. Last thing we need to do is look carefully at each line and think what makes that shape really good. Then you're going to give a tick or a circle to the best one. Now I'm looking for a feeler that has a nice curve on the top, that's facing the sun, not facing away from the sun, that's not jumping on the trampoline but sitting perfectly on the line. I think that one's pretty good. I'm looking for a small twig that's about halfway between the two lines. That one looks nice. And then when we do our F, we're joining those two shapes together. Like that. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to write a sentence with lots of F's in it. So I'm going to razzle dazzle my whiteboard. You might need to do that too, or turn your piece of paper over, or go to the next page in your scrapbook so that you have space to write a whole sentence. Pause the video and do that now. I'm going to say the sentence 2 times and then you can have a go at writing it. Ready? Tarting is turned on. The sentence is, Frankie and the fat fox had fun. Frankie and the fat fox had fun. Remember, you can use your yellow word card to help you write these words. You can also stretch out the words and make them really long to listen carefully for the sounds. If you have a Frankie in your class and you're at school, you could have a look around the classroom and see if you can find Frankie written somewhere, and then you could copy that from there. Pause the video and have a go at writing that sentence now. Let's read the sentence together. Frankie and the fat fox had fun. Let's check that we've written a super sentence. Do you have a capital letter at the beginning? Is it a capital F? Do you have a full stop at the end? And do you have finger spaces between each word? If you do, good job. Let's look at it really carefully again and count up how many lowercase f's we've got. So we've got that capital at the beginning because that's the beginning of the sentence, and Frankie is also a name. So names in the beginning of a sentence, they have capitals. So where are those lowercase f's? 1, 2, 3. 3 lowercase f's. Awesome work today with your handwriting. See you in the next handwriting warm-up video. Bye!